Hi there. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling, the author of The 4-Week Vacation, and I have been doing live readings for the last 9 or 10 days or so from The 4-Week Vacation. We are working our way through the book. We're still in Chapter 8 today, but it's my intent, hopefully, to get us into Chapter 9. Chapter 8 is the Tap the Potential Solution, which is the heart of what we teach in our Better Business, Better Life program, where we work with entrepreneurs who are ready to take their lives back from their business. So today, as we get started, I just want to share with you, next week I am teaching live the 4-Week Vacation Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart. So if you're hearing me read the book, you've purchased a copy of the book, you're reading it, you're getting really excited, and you want to just jump in and start taking action, the Jumpstart is a great opportunity for you, because I'm going to be teaching you from the book and sharing the concepts and helping you get started with the implementation. And what I really like about the Jumpstart is it gives you a high level overview of what we work on in the Better Business, Better Life program with our clients at Tap the Potential. So it's an opportunity for you to see, try us out and see if you like what we're doing and if it would support you in building a business that would help you have more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. So if you haven't registered yet, be sure to go to tapthepotential.com/jumpstart and get yourself registered. And as we go today, I do have comments turned on so I can see them on screen. So if you're watching and you want to share something that sparks for you that as I'm reading, or you relate to something I'm sharing in the book, or you've tried something that I'm sharing in the book, I'd love to see how you're implementing things. So I want to do a little screen share here as we're getting started. And we're going to put the Tap the Potential solution back up here on the screen. And this is what we've been working through in Chapter 8. In Chapter 8, we were talking about niching down with a clearly defined sweet spot yesterday. So I'm going to start us off with a case study from Don Zerbe. So Don, thank you so much for sharing your experience here. So Don Zerbe of Ecolon LLC. Over the last 2 years, we've made progress identifying our ideal clients and those who aren't. And an average client generates $150 net per year. The wrong client costs $300 per year, and the ideal client generates $700 per year. Early on, you said to figure out another layer of value to add that appeals to the top 20% of the top 20%. I couldn't figure out what that would look like until this story played out. A few years ago, one of my good customers asked if I'd service a property on the other side of town. He said it was his boss's house, who owns a nationally recognized company and is apparently rich. I said no. We didn't have time to drive and it would be too expensive. Well, he persisted and asked again the next year, and I said, look, it's going to cost $150 just to go there, plus whatever the service cost would be. He said, so what? I love your program, and my boss said to do whatever was needed to get you on his property. So I said, okay. This year, he added tree and shrub service and a 4-application disease program to his service. Its value is now $10,000. The net is $2,500. I think this is the value add you were talking about. The wrong customer costs us $300 per year. The ideal client nets us $700, and the top 20% of the top 20% net $2,500. Consider the potential in replacing 50 of the wrong clients with 50 ideal clients. I used to think I could do everything myself, managing the company operations, says Don. I was going home mentally exhausted. There had to be a better way, and I needed to be able to delegate some of the operational tasks and even strategies. Don not only began hiring A players, but also found efficiencies in new tools that dramatically increased his hourly net dollar production. So if you look here on the Tap the Potential solution, it starts with intentionally designing your business to be sustainably profitable, and then you move down to niching down with a clearly defined sweet spot. Once you have this sweet spot identified, you know who your top clients are, and then you start thinking about how can we innovate to serve them better. So yesterday, when we ended, I left you with some powerful questions to think about. So just as a refresher, what are 10 things you and your team would be doing for your top clients if you had more time? What would the impact be? If you were to add so much value that you deliver a 3-to-1 return on investment for your clients, what might you be doing? If you were to add a top tier service, what would you be doing for your very best clients? And what do you want to hear your top clients saying? What could you deliver that would have them saying that? Another example, Charlotte Wassmer at Virtual Partner Advantage tries to automate everything she can, such as importing invoices using new applications instead of manually posting them. When you have large volumes of transactions, you can go from spending 40 hours a week, she says, to doing something in maybe 8 hours. Charlotte's entire team at Virtual Partner Advantage is involved in pumpkin planning the business and spotting ways to add value for their top clients. Within 4 years, Virtual Partner Advantage experienced a 462% increase in profitability. Pumpkin planning is part of the reason for this increase. So there are multiple ways in which to innovate. Innovate with technology and automation, as well as materials and processes that reduce your need for labor. Most businesses can reduce labor needs by as much as 20% to 40% or more by cutting inefficiencies. So just think about that. Payroll is typically the biggest expense. You can reduce labor needs by looking for ways to reduce inefficiencies. Most inefficiencies relate to the amount of labor involved. If 3 people are on a project, 3 people will work on a project. This is Parkinson's law in action. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available to complete it. When it comes to project-based work, work expands to the time and people allotted to do it. Reflect on your own experience. Think about the last time a warm body quit. You probably saw your A players hunker down and pick up the slack, all the while sighing with relief that the warm body was no longer around. When you can run your business with fewer team members, you have the opportunities to pay your A players more, which makes your business more likely to stand out as an employer of choice to attract more A players. You will want A players on your team to take exceptional care of your top clients. Furthermore, A players are key to innovating in your business. When your A players understand your sweet spot and the needs of your top clients are accountable to KPIs, they will spot opportunities to innovate. Your team will become masterful at innovating and helping your business be the only choice for serving the needs of your top clients. Step 4, build a lean and mighty team. You're designing your business to be sustainably profitable. You're niching down with a clearly defined sweet spot. And you're innovating to add value for your top clients, which is freeing up your and your team's time as profitability increases. There is more money in your bank account than ever. Now it is time to build your lean and mighty team. A players in the right seats working from their strengths will be 900 to 1200% more productive than warm bodies. Let that sink in. It's not just about hiring A players. You want to get them in the right seat, working from their strengths. And you want to have them serving the sweet spot of the business, delivering an exceptional experience to your top clients. The beauty of operating your business from a clearly defined sweet spot is you will need fewer team members. This has a significant impact on your profit over time. Let me explain. Payroll is typically the biggest expense in a business. When there is not a clear sweet spot, you serve all kinds of clients and customers with a variety of needs. Often, team members are hired because of the extra work created by clients and customers who may be less than ideal for the business. Work performed for these customers may actually cost the business more than the business takes in. Even worse, these customers can stretch the capacity of the team, making it seem like the business needs to hire. In actuality, the business will be more profitable when it is right-sized around the sweet spot. This allows the business to run with fewer team members. When these team members are A players working from their strengths, they will be highly productive. This allows you to compensate them well, making your business more and more attractive to A players as you grow. Beyond compensation, building a great culture is much easier with A players on board. A great culture reduces your need to hire because you will be retaining talent. Employee turnover is very costly to a business. A great culture also makes your business highly desirable for A players. You become an employer of choice with a pipeline of highly qualified candidates eager to join your team. A great culture creates a true team environment where everyone looks out for each other in your business. A great culture makes people work hard and support each other to find and use efficiencies. The bottom line, a lean and mighty team is a beautiful thing. You will enjoy your team. Your team will bring energy to their work. Your top clients benefit from the energy and enthusiasm your A players bring to their work. Your team takes over responsibilities you've been carrying, freeing you from the daily demands of the business. Employee turnover declines, profit increases. Because attracting and retaining A players is key to creating a business that can run without your daily involvement, I take a deep dive into it and how to hire the best, the entrepreneur's ultimate guide for attracting top performing team members. I recommend you read the book for strategies to build your hire the best system and create a culture that attracts the A players you want on your team. In this section, I will focus on building your lean and mighty team, assuming you are hiring A players. First, I want you to fire everyone in your company, including yourself. Okay, so don't fire them literally, just fire them mentally for the purposes of this exercise. It muddies our thinking when we try to shift team members around in our company and build roles to fit them. You will gain tremendous clarity by designing roles around the sweet spot. Next, envision your company operating solely from the sweet spot. Envision your company serving top clients from your team's strengths and area of innovation with systems in place to ensure smooth and efficient attraction of top clients, sales conversion, delivery of service, and collection of payment. Now envision your company 3 years from now. How many clients are you serving? What roles do you need in your company to double the clients served? What roles are needed to serve that number of clients from your sweet spot? Design your role chart with that in mind. Do not put names on the chart just yet. Next, think through the key results you expect from each person in a particular role. In other words, if that person can only get one thing done for you on a given day or a given week, what is the one result that will have the greatest impact? Now take it one step further to answer this question. How does that result support the profitability of the company? Remember, you are designing a sustainably profitable business. That means you only want roles in the company that serve profitability. It is critical to identify this prior to filling roles so that you have a clear result in mind for each role. By doing this, you will avoid a common hiring mistake, hiring someone and trying to find a place for them to fit in your company. Now that you have thought through the key results needed from each role, it's time to identify the strengths needed to deliver that key result exceptionally well, day in and day out. Years ago, I had the privilege of coaching a young entrepreneur who had a product showing significant potential. Successful and growing quickly, he needed team members. He set up a kiosk at the local mall, and demand for his product quickly outstripped his ability to make it, serve it, and collect payment on his own. He needed someone to be in the front of the kiosk while he made the product in the back. He was dismayed by his college buddies, whom he hired, who did a great job for the first day or so, but then their performance quickly deteriorated. He described coming back from a break and seeing his buddy in the kiosk, head down, hunched over his phone, with his back turned to the passing foot traffic. My client didn't understand what he was doing wrong. His friends were good people, he explained. They worked hard in school and always went the extra mile for class assignments. Although he could count on them to show up when expected, he never knew what kind of performance he would get from them on a given day. He'd meet with them and remind them how important it was to be upbeat, enthusiastic, and engaging with the foot traffic passing by. They'd do great for a couple of hours, then they'd become more passive and eventually totally disengaged, just standing around the kiosk. What was going on? As I dug into this with him, he identified the one result that was needed in this role, someone who would engage with the public passing by and entice them to try the product. Once he had clarity on that, we identified the strength needed to deliver that result exceptionally well, day in and day out. Extroversion. He needed individuals in that role who get energy from interacting with people. As we talked about his buddies filling that role, he had an aha moment. His buddies are introverts. He is the most outgoing member of their circle, and most of his friends tend to be quiet and more reserved. Although reliable in that they showed up for work each day, they were not able to consistently deliver the key result he needed from that role. Engaging with the public drained these introverts quickly. My client had hired introverts masquerading as extroverts. They tried hard to be upbeat and enthusiastic. They knew that's what my client wanted, but they could only do this for short periods of time before they became exhausted. When they turned their back on the foot traffic, they were simply trying to gain some energy. Introverts recharge by spending time alone. Extroverts gain energy from social interaction. He needed to hire extroverts for this role. His friends really wanted to help him out. They were sincere in their intentions. However, they did not have the strengths needed to deliver the one result exceptionally well, day in and day out. With this one change to his hiring process, my client solved this problem in his business. Once he began hiring with a focus on hiring extroverts for this role, he had no problem retaining team members and getting exceptional performance from them consistently. His business started growing because his time was freed up to focus on refining his product and systems. With this one step, his confidence in his ability to eventually free himself from other roles in the business also grew. For my client, like many of us, our first successful hire builds our confidence in freeing ourselves from the daily demands of the business. With your role chart in place, you have a roadmap for freeing yourself from your business. So, what are you waiting for? Dig in. Fill in the role chart with the names of your existing team members. You should have only one person per role. Having more than one person responsible for a role creates confusion. If you need multiple salespeople, create a role for each member of the sales team. For example, you might have a sales team lead and 2 sales representatives for a total of 3 roles on your sales team. Keep in mind, one person may be filling multiple roles. In all likelihood, you are filling more roles than anyone else in the business. Now you have a visual showing you why you feel spread so thin. Your team members filling multiple roles also have a visual representation validating their experience as well. Your role chart makes it clear what roles needed to be filled in the immediate future. It also makes it easier for you to plan capacity. You now have a roadmap for hiring. 5 steps to design your role chart. Number 1, identify the growth you want to experience in the next 3 years. Number 2, add the roles needed to serve your sweet spot at that level of revenue. Number 3, identify the key result needed from each role. Number 4, identify how that key result impacts profitability. And number 5, fill in your role chart with the names of existing team members. Let's talk about you. The second annual Breakthroughs Retreat was well underway in my home. We had just finished a meal, and our participants were enjoying a cool evening and a beautiful sunset over the bayou. And they were participating in an activity facilitated by my colleagues, Donna Lyons and Mike McAllowitz. What was I doing? Tidying the kitchen and taking out the garbage. Yep, that's right. Instead of co-facilitating and bringing my expertise to the conversation, I was tidying the kitchen and taking out the garbage. The low point was the moment Dr. Nancy Tremblay, a retreat participant and Better Business, Better Life client, walked in and offered to help with the dishes. At that moment, it hit me. I was not walking my talk. Instead of sharing my gifts and showing up from my strengths, I was doing kitchen duty. Truth be told, the retreat attendance had grown considerably from the previous year, and I had not anticipated the additional housekeeping and janitorial service that would come with an additional 10 participants. Lesson learned. The next year, I hired these services, and our retreat participants had an even better experience because of it. Not to mention, I was more relaxed and able to participate, sharing my coaching and business expertise with our clients throughout the event. Maybe you can relate. As we start our businesses, we wear all the hats. As the business grows, we keep wearing the hats. Sometimes we do it to save money. Other times we do it because we did not anticipate a need and do the task because, well, who will do it if I don't? Other times we believe it would take too long to train someone else, or it would be too hard to hire for that, or it's not a full-time role, or fill in the blank with any other excuse you can think of. These are all lies we tell ourselves to justify why we are doing the $10, $50, and $100 an hour tasks in our businesses. We can get so mired in the weeds of the $10 an hour tasks, we don't even recognize what we could be doing with our time that would have more value in the business. Remember, it's not about how much you work. It's about how effective you are. The value of a $10,000 an hour activity comes from its ability to help your company grow and scale with respect to the value being delivered and the profit generated. So I'm really curious if any of you are listening, if you can relate to my experience where all of a sudden you just look up in your business and you think, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I should hire somebody to do this. There's something else more important or more valuable that I could be doing with my time in the business. So that was a huge lesson learned. Delegate. With your A-player team members on board, serving the sweet spot of your business, there are tremendous opportunities to delegate, to keep each team member and you, the owner, working from your personal sweet spot or zone of strengths. Delegation needs to happen at all levels of the role chart, and we need to support our teams in recognizing these opportunities. After all, you have A-players working for you. Once you've identified the key result desired from each team member, it's time to look for opportunities to sweep responsibilities off their plate. In Clockwork, Mike Michalowicz describes the process of trash, trim, or transfer. When you are running your business around the sweet spot, it is easier to spot tasks that are being done that have nothing to do with the sweet spot of the business. You may be able to trash or eliminate these tasks. Perhaps some are being done to serve clients who are not aligned with your top client profile. As you spend less effort and time serving these clients, many of these tasks will be trashed automatically. You may be more deliberate in offboarding clients too. This also frees up time for your team and you. Remember the value of time. We can make more money. We cannot make more time. Some tasks can be trimmed, meaning you limit the amount of time you or a team member spend doing them. As we onboarded clients, I found myself repeating the same key points. As we ramped up the number of clients we serve, I became concerned I would forget to share something important with a new client. To solve this problem and create a consistent client experience, I recorded a short welcome video for our new clients. The task still happens, but the time it takes has been trimmed. Transfer in this context means to delegate. Be intentional in delegating the $10, $100, and even eventually the $1,000 an hour task to others on your team. The beauty of this is that as you do so, you are designing opportunities for advancement, which makes your business highly desirable to A players. A players crave opportunities for advancement. Many companies tout career path advancements, but very few provide a specific plan for advancement with a role chart that delineates a clear path for A players to move up and develop themselves. You will be doing that. Finally, teach all your team members the value of focusing on delivering their key result. Continue to review and refine their responsibilities. Tasks creep in, and sometimes no one on the team remembers why a task is being done. When your team members are trained in the sweet spot of your business and the importance of the business being profitable, they are much more likely to speak up when they are doing a task without a clear connection to a key result. Delegation rule of thumb. Acknowledge team members for ownership of the result. Initially, the results may not be what you're hoping for. If you continue to acknowledge effort toward getting the results while coaching your team members to think through effectively getting the results, your team members will deliver. If you come down on them for making wrong choices and decisions, you will get more of what you don't want. Your team relying on you to solve the problems. The 4-week vacation steps to effective delegation. Always remember, delegate results and not tasks. Step 1, hire the best. Step 2, develop and share your compelling, vivid vision. Step 3, identify, share, and illustrate your immutable laws. Step 4, identify the business sweet spot and communicate this to your team. Step 5, define the field of play. Step 6, equip your team with tools for better decision making. Step 7, give your team a decision-making filter. Step 8, identify the roles needed to successfully deliver on the sweet spot. Step 9, identify the one key result needed from each role. If nothing else gets done in a given day or a given week, what one thing should the team member in this role accomplish? How does this one thing support the sweet spot? How does this one thing impact profit? Step 10, how will you measure this? Step 11, benchmark and report it. Congratulations, your team member is now accountable for this key performance indicator tied to their role. Step 12, better your best. Coach your team members to set quarterly goals to improve their KPIs. With a compelling, vivid vision, immutable laws, a sweet spot, and A players, you are ready for delegating key results and key decisions that drive those results. The next step in the Tap the Potential solution is to ensure you have the A players you need when you need them. And now we are at step 5, network using the Hire the Best A player attraction system. It's November 10th when Bill calls me. I see his name on my phone and I'm confused. He's supposed to be on his 4-week vacation. Why is he calling me? As I take his call, the story unfolds. Bill fired the team member he counts on most. This team member all but disappeared as Bill started his vacation, leaving other team members hanging with critical business functions not covered. While Bill has a long-term plan to build redundancy into roles in the business so that the business is not reliant on any one team member, in the interim, the company is committed to contracts, and there is not enough team without Bill's involvement to meet their commitments. Or so it seems. I ask Bill, who can you call? I don't have anyone to fill this role. The person who can do it is too busy putting out fires, and I can't pull him off those responsibilities. I ask again, who can you call? Not to fill this role, but who can fill a lower level role to free your leadership team to take on the responsibilities of this role? Oh, that's easy. We have at least 5 people who are interested. Bill has 5 candidates waiting for the opportunity to work for him. His leadership team onboards and trains entry level positions with ease. That's been systemized as part of their sweet spot. He even has a team member who oversees all of that. Bill calls a meeting with his leadership team that afternoon. Together, they create a plan for covering the higher level activities of the vacant role, how they will shift responsibilities to meet contractual commitments, identify the 2 candidates of the 5 they are most interested in, and how they will onboard and train while they meet contractual obligations. Bill texts me just as he gets into his truck to leave for vacation. I'm out of here. Thank you. This story has a happy ending. A 4-week vacation disaster is averted, all because of one simple strategy. Bill and his team regularly network using the Hire the Best system. Because of this, they have a steady pipeline of A players eager to get to work for them. They put considerable attention to being an employer of choice in their community. Even in industries such as construction, with harder to fill roles at higher levels on the role chart, they are able to quickly fill entry level roles, retain and train, and move their team members into harder to fill roles by promoting internally. For this reason, Bill has A-player team members who over just 3 to 5 years move from entry level to leadership and management. This creates considerable loyalty and leads to powerful stories being shared on social media, which make their company highly attractive to A-players seeking real opportunities for advancement. While A-players are everywhere, there's a good chance they are employed elsewhere. Always be on the lookout for A-players and build relationships with them. If you wait for an opening to start recruiting, you are too late. Don't get called in from your 4-week vacation because a team member bails on you. Network to attract the best. Build your bench. Sleep peacefully knowing your team's got this. Always be recruiting. Use strategic networking to develop a steady pipeline of interested candidates for your next opening. This is a critical system to get in place in your business. The sooner the better. I detail the steps to doing this in the How to Hire the Best book, The Entrepreneur's Ultimate Guide to Attracting Top Performing Team Members. Case study. Accountant takes a 4-week vacation in the height of tax season. Like many business owners, John Briggs was somewhat petrified by the idea of taking a 4-week vacation. I was like, holy crap, how is this going to happen? The CPA recalls of the thought of not going to the office for 28 straight days and of how his team would handle the news. It seems pretty selfish as the owner to say, hey, just so you guys know, you're still going to work hard. I'm going to take 4 weeks off because I can, and here's what you're going to do in my 4 weeks off. Pretty soon, however, Briggs was unplugged from Insight Tax, spending his time at his home in Draper, Utah, and attending the NCAA Final Four basketball tournament, a lifelong dream. He was able to craft an appealing online job description to help cover the technical expertise gaps in his absence. It really allowed me to hire that last position, so I was no longer dependent upon on a day-to-day basis with a lot of those tasks, says Briggs. Taking a 4-week vacation, meanwhile, allowed not only Briggs to revive, but also his company to thrive. It allowed my team members to get a better feeling of accomplishment, he says. You take the time off, they're responsible, and they know they can't come in and ask you a question. Ultimately, they appreciated the trust given to them, which makes for a better work environment. Insight Tax would have missed out on a tremendous opportunity to grow had Briggs backed out of his pledge to take a 4-week vacation. He also discovered how to recognize and handle fears without being perceived as a typical alpha male business owner and then having to ask people for help. It led me to hold on to things I should have delegated a long time ago, says Briggs. But it's funny, you don't end up giving up control. You actually give yourself more freedom to control the most important things. Even just mentally committing to a 4-week vacation can be a struggle, Briggs acknowledges, encouraging fellow entrepreneurs to conduct a few test runs before taking the month off. Most good things in life, he says, come after a struggle. The 4 pillars to a high quality of life for entrepreneurs. Our data shows that intention toward attracting and nurturing high quality clients and team members, along with the ability for the business to grow without the owner working longer hours, is negatively correlated with risk for entrepreneurial burnout. Those owners putting intention here are likely to be at lower risk for burnout and thus experience a higher quality of life. Our data revealed the following 4 pillars to a high quality of life for entrepreneurs. As I share this, it's really interesting to me that the data shows that these pillars that lead to a higher quality of life for entrepreneurs, they actually map on to the Tap the Potential solution. So pillar number 1 is a system for engaging with high quality clients and customers and avoiding poor or distracting customers. And that is step 2 in the Tap the Potential solution, niching down with a clearly defined sweet spot where you're intentionally attracting top clients, letting go of poor fitting clients, and developing your unique offering. This is accomplished by having a clear top client profile, understanding what top clients value most, and systemizing delivery of that service. Filters are in place to weed out poor or distracting clients. Pillar number 2 is a system for ensuring every member of your team exhibits high enthusiasm for their role and its impact on the business. This is step 4 of the Tap the Potential solution, where you build your lean and mighty team around the key results needed, and you put people into roles based on their strengths in delivering those key results. A compelling, vivid vision is also communicated to team members, and team members understand how achieving the business vision serves their personal goals. These are mutually beneficial relationships. Attention is being paid to team member strengths, aligning with the roles. Pillar number 4 is engaging in regular team development activities, which is also part of building that lean and mighty team. You want to be investing in your team's growth and development. Treat your team like you would your best clients. In turn, they will do the same for your clients. And pillar number 4 is the ability to grow the business without the owner working longer hours. Steps 2, 4, and 5 of the Tap the Potential solution. So niching down, lean and mighty team, and then continuing to network to attract A players allows you to take your life back from your business. To reduce the risk for burnout, it's not sufficient to have to reduce your risk for burnout, it's not sufficient to have 1 or 2 of these pillars in place. The risk for entrepreneurial burnout only drops significantly when the 3rd pillar is added. Our data shows that the biggest gains for the entrepreneur's quality of life happen when going from having 2 pillars in place to adding the 3rd. Another big gain occurs when the 4th pillar is added. Only 5% of those surveyed had all 4 pillars in place. So ask yourself, what's been new for you from this chapter? And what's possible for you when you implement what you've learned from this chapter? Take a step forward. As you implement the Tap the Potential solution, you are designing a sustainably profitable business that gives you your life back. The Tap the Potential solution is a comprehensive, holistic solution, and you may be wondering where to start. The best place to start is by assessing where you are currently in relation to the solution. I invite you to take our Better Business, Better Life assessment. This one-of-a-kind assessment examines your quality of life in relation to the strength of your business. When you take this assessment, you will discover which parts of your business need to be strengthened so that you have a better quality of life. You can take the assessment at tapthepotential.com/assessment. You'll receive results that identify specifically what to work on in your business. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart coming up next week where I'm teaching live. One of the things that you can do right away is go and take our assessment and bring your results with you into the Jumpstart, because it will help you focus your attention in the Jumpstart on the parts of your business that will have the greatest impact for you. We find coaching key to successful implementation of the Tap the Potential solution. It's simply too easy to get bogged down in the weeds of your business, lose motivation, and lose sight of the most important actions to be taking. Encouragement and expert guidance along the way can be invaluable. Having expert guidance and the support of your peers along the way makes your journey easier, more enjoyable, and more profitable. If you would like our coaching, encouragement, and expert guidance through the Tap the Potential solution, consider joining our Better Business, Better Life program. This program is specifically designed for those entrepreneurs dedicated to continuous improvement in their business and committed to designing a sustainably profitable business that gives them more time for what matters most and more money in their bank account than ever. The program requires a 12-month commitment, and many of our clients renew year after year. When you graduate, you've taken at least one 4-week vacation while your business continues to grow profitably in your absence. It can take 12 to 18 months to implement the Tap the Potential solution and be ready for a 4-week vacation. The reality is that even after you take a 4-week vacation, the work on your business is not done as the business grows and the business environment changes. The Tap the Potential solution is a combination of timeless principles and strategies that work at every stage of business. The good news is you can start practicing for your 4-week vacation long before you have the Tap the Potential solution fully implemented. In fact, we find that practicing for the 4-week vacation with vacation tests actually speeds up the implementation of the Tap the Potential solution. That's right. Taking time off actually makes you more effective. Remember the benefit of downtime to clear your head. You will notice opportunities and solutions you do not recognize when you are grinding it out. Plus, each time you go away from your business, your team members grow in their leadership. So, ready to start planning your 4-week vacation tests? Let's go. And now we are in Chapter 9, taking the 4-week vacation pledge. Man surprised me most about humanity because he sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die, and then dies having never really lived. Dalai Lama. It's an amazing achievement to have the systems in place so your business can run without you. You've created your immutable laws to uphold your compelling, vivid vision. Your A players are taking over the tasks you've delegated, delivering great results with passion and enthusiasm. Your team is building and documenting systems around the sweet spot. It's time to take some time off and live. Vacation tests build toward your 4-week vacation. Each test will make your business stronger. 4-week vacation tests. As I mentioned in the previous chapter, you should plan for it to take about 12 to 18 months to get your business ready for a 4-week vacation. You will need to plan a series of vacation tests to build up the muscle of your business. Think of this as a workout. If you've never lifted weights before, you wouldn't expect to lift 215 pounds without doing some training to build up to that. Similarly, you can't decide to take a 4-week vacation in 6 months and make it happen if the longest you have ever been away completely unplugged is a few days. Each vacation test makes your business stronger. Start with where you are and build from there. What is the longest time you've been away from your business totally unplugged? If it's less than a week, double the days. For example, if the longest you've ever been unplugged from your business is over the weekend, plan a 4-day vacation test where you are completely unplugged. Consider the following. What work would you be scrambling to do in advance of your time off? What work would not get done while you're away? What work would pile up for you to do when you get back? Next, plan additional vacation tests to build on your first vacation test. For example, if you plan to take a 4-week vacation 18 months from now, you might schedule a 4-day vacation test this month. And then in 3 months, you would schedule a 7-day vacation. 3 months after that, schedule a 10-day vacation. 3 months after that, schedule a 2-week vacation. 3 months after that, schedule a 3-week vacation. 3 months after that, schedule your 4-week vacation. If you want to do this in 12 months, simply shorten the period between vacation tests to 2 months. These are not hard and fast rules. Feel free to work with the scheduling of your vacation test to find a rhythm that works for you. However, I do not recommend taking longer than 21 months to work toward your 4-week vacation. We make things happen when time frames are short and tight. If we put it too far out in the future, it's much less likely to happen. What do you do on a vacation test? Well, you could take a vacation, or you could just do the simple things that fill you up. After I issued the 4-week vacation challenge at the 2018 Breakthroughs Retreat, Chuck was the first to take a vacation test. He took a Friday and Saturday off, totally unplugged. What did he do? He visited his parents, cleaned his truck, and dreamed up a new front porch for his cabin. The most important aspects of your vacation test are that you enjoy yourself and fully unplug from work. The pledge. It's amazing what we're capable of in our businesses when we're willing to fully commit. I once heard an entrepreneur talk about the importance of throwing your hat over the fence for all decisions that are important but not urgent within your business. The analogy is that you just purchased an expensive hat and you threw it over the fence. You have no idea but to climb over the fence to get your hat. This entrepreneur taught that you should make public announcements on all important work you want to do to ensure it happens. Committing to an extended vacation is a great way of throwing your hat over the fence. Public commitment is one of the strongest forms of accountability. So if you are serious about this, I invite you to take the 4-week vacation pledge. Step 1, publicly declare you are taking a 4-week vacation. I invite you to officially throw your hat over the fence in our Entrepreneurs Take Your Life Back community at tapthepotential.com/group and declare your pledge to take a 4-week vacation. For heightened accountability, tell your immediate family members of your plan. There is nothing better than a spouse or child reminding you of how much they are looking forward to spending more time with you on vacation. Step 2, state your why. Why is it important for you to take a 4-week vacation? What makes this meaningful for you? Here are some reasons our Breakthroughs Retreat participants identified. Be inspired. I want to give myself space to decide how I can breathe more life into my business, the lives of my team members, and the clients I serve. I want to take my aunt away for her birthday to give her a break from the 24/7 care she gives my grandmother. That was shared by Tina Smith. So I can get off the hamster wheel and enjoy taking time off instead of feeling guilty. Mary Pierce. I don't want to wake up in 10 years a slave to my business. I want my business to inspire life. Andrew Twardzik. To take time out to reflect on my business and refresh, to be a disruptor in the small business world, so business owner and entrepreneur are not looked at as dirty words. To spend time with my loved ones and find the space that I need to find so I can better show up for me and those who matter. And that was shared by Christine Era. My people will be stronger in their jobs, plus discover what else they are capable of. And that was shared by Chuck Parmalee. To empower my leadership team as well as motivate myself to make the necessary changes that would allow me not to be necessary for the operations of the business. Also to set the right mindset for my team and myself to move to the impact and legacy markers. To have work support my life and the lives of my team. To have restorative time to include mind rejuvenation, body health recovery, reorganizing my personal life for more balance so I can reconnect with God in my spiritual journey. That was shared by Charlotte Wassmer. So what's your why for taking a 4-week vacation? Share it with us in the Entrepreneurs Take Your Life Back community. Step 3, determine the dates of your 4-week vacation. Block the time on your calendar now. Then work backward to schedule your 4-week vacation tasks that lead into the 4-week vacation. How fun. Look at all the vacation time coming your way. It's all in service of making your business stronger. Who knew? Bottleneck checks. There is no better way to identify where you are the bottleneck in the business than for you to plan time off. What work would you be scrambling to do in advance of your time off? What work would not get done while you are away? What work would pile up for you to do when you get back? Your answers to these questions point to systems that need to be created and work that needs to be delegated. Use the powerful question, how might this get done without me, to brainstorm with your team. You will be surprised at the solutions they bring forward. As entrepreneurs, we hang on to simple tasks far too long simply because we don't see a solution for delegation. Trust your team. You've hired A players. Let them support you in figuring this out and designing a solution. Why every 4-week vacation is a test. The 4-week vacation is not a one and done accomplishment. It is a lifelong leadership strategy. Our businesses are not the same from year to year or even quarter to quarter. For this reason, regular vacations are critical to keep our teams growing and evolving. As of this writing, I have taken a 9-week maternity leave, 4 4-week vacations, a 6-week vacation, and a 7.5-week vacation. Each time I have taken a vacation, I have come back to a business that is different and better than the one I left. Each time I step out of the business, our team members grow in their leadership and their ability to work together to address the challenges that arise. Leadership insights from a 4-week vacation. My team really stepped up and just kept things going. They were aware of what I was going through, and it gave them an opportunity to do even more. Now I've taken the pledge to do the 4-week vacation again. That's Dr. Nancy Tremblay. It allowed my team members to get a better feeling of accomplishment. You take the time off, they're responsible, and they know they can't come in and ask you a question. Ultimately, they appreciated the trust given to them which makes for a better work environment. John Briggs of Insight Tax. Up next are tips for a successful 4-week vacation. Plan to fully unplug so that you get the maximum benefit and come back recharged. Remove all the social media and work-related apps from your phone. Avoid checking in with the office. 1 month before your next 4-week vacation, conduct a premortem. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman calls this premortem a beautiful technique to reward people for becoming imaginative. As an article in Farnham Street explains, divide your team in 2 groups. Have one group imagine the vacation was a roaring success. Ask each member to work independently and generate reasons, or better yet, write a story in as much detail as possible about why it was a success for the business. The second group will imagine your time away was an unmitigated disaster for the business. Again, in as much detail as possible, each will write the story about why it was a failure. Kahneman emphasizes that we encourage our team to identify causes they usually wouldn't mention out of fear of being impolite. Next, have each person in the failure group read their list or story aloud and record and collate the reasons, he writes. Repeat this process with the success group. Finally, use the reasons from both groups to strengthen your 4-week vacation plan. Meet with your leadership team 1 week before your vacation. Check in about any loose ends that need to be completed before you leave. Ask your team, what is it that you need from me that I won't be able to answer while I'm gone? Schedule no meetings the week before your vacation, with the exception of meetings with your leadership team, so that you can wrap up any loose ends. Make note of what you are addressing the week before you're out. These issues need a system and need to be delegated. Plan a gradual reentry. With the exception of meeting with your leadership team, avoid scheduling meetings. You will be coming back from your vacation with ideas that you will want to implement. Give yourself space on your calendar to take advantage of this $10,000 an hour ideation. Finally, request a summary of issues. I asked my executive assistant to reach out individually to team members to ask for a summary of issues that occurred while I was out, how the issue was handled, if it was successfully resolved, and what, if anything, is needed from me in relation to the issue. She creates a 1-sheet summary to share with me on the day I return. When I came back from my 7.5-week vacation, the summary was half a page long. I read it in 5 minutes and was brought up to speed. No further actions were needed from me. Our team had handled it all. For email, do not use an out-of-the-office autoresponder. Have someone sorting and responding to your email so that it doesn't pile up. Have them list out which emails need your attention on the second day of your return. Don't handle email on your first day back. Reserve that day for moving your $10,000 an hour ideas forward. I anticipate you will be surprised by how few emails there are. Make sure that business calls do not come to your cell phone. If you have clients who call or text on your cell phone, create an outgoing message letting them know who to reach out to in your absence. Immediately schedule your next 4-week vacation as well as your next regular vacation. It's always fun to have the next one to look forward to. So we're going to stop here. We're not quite done with chapter 9. When we come back tomorrow, I will get into what to expect when you go on your 4-week vacation and when you return, as well as we're going to get into chapter 10, which is what happens after your 4-week vacation. So we will try to wrap up the reading tomorrow. We will have most of the book completed. There are some pieces of the book that we may not get to, so I'll leave those for a surprise for you. But there's a great appendix with Q&A about the 4-week vacation. I don't know that we're going to get to that one tomorrow. So thank you for spending time with me here. I hope it's been enjoyable and you're getting some ideas for how you might spend your 4-week vacation and the steps to take to get there. Remember, next week I am teaching live in the 4-week vacation, Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart. So if you're eager to get ready and get your business on track for a 4-week vacation, the Jumpstart is a great place to be. You'll have an opportunity to ask me questions, to interact with me. We're going to be in a private Zoom room for the Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart next week. So be sure you're registered. Go to tapthepotential.com/jumpstart. So I hope to see you there next week. Bye for now.